Okay, here we go. Okay, we just started the Q&A portion of our opportunity meeting that we do every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So welcome to our pool funding opportunity meeting. And I want to basically open up the remaining time to you to answer questions. I am the creator of pool funding. I've done a brief presentation on how pool funding works and how you can get funding that you don't have to pay back. The source of that funding is coming from the market, and so let's kind of start there and see what questions or thoughts you might have at this point. Okay, who would like to unmute? Robert?
Yes,
Go ahead, you're on, Robert.
I have a question about this market funding.
Yes.
You said you had access to $10 billion worth of
No,
something,
400 billion.
400 billion.
Yeah.
Where did this 400 billion come from? That's a shit lot of money.
That's a great question. Okay. All right. So like we have a coin that's called PFB. Okay.
Who made this coin?
I did.
You created this coin. You started a bit.
I mean, I'm not the programmer that wrote the software, but I am the one that launched the coin. Okay.
Okay, you launched the coin, and
otherwise known as a founder or creator, whichever term you're more comfortable with. Okay.
When you started it, it was worth $1, and now it's worth $300,000 per bit.
Yeah.
Now I know enough about Bitcoin to know that it doubles every so many periods, but man, that is hard to believe that it goes up that much that fast.
Well, I mean, it's what it's done. It's currently low at the moment, but it's you see there $300,000 right there. That was August 28th, a couple, basically a week ago. $300,000 per coin. PFB.
What makes it go up that far that fast?
That's a great question. That's actually a good question to ask. So it's two things: the supply and demand in the simplest terms. Everybody seems to understand that terminology, but it's a very small circulating supply. We have 1 million coins, right? So the market cap on that, when it hit 300,000, 1 million times 300,000 is 300 billion. You understand? So you take that.
Matt, I didn't quite follow where those numbers come from. When you created this,
it's called. Anyway, Robert, we don't want one person dominating all the questions, so you're gonna have. You can't interrupt me.
Understanding how you're taking.
Okay, I'm muted, Robert. So we got to be fair to everybody that's here, Robert. Okay. So I'm willing to answer questions. That's the whole point of the Q&A. But we don't want one person doing all the questioning. We want other people to have the ability to ask their questions. And if you interrupt me answering a question, then you're not being fair to anyone here, because they came here to listen to what we're offering. And I got to have the ability to answer a question completely. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. We're going to try this one more time and see if you understand, the format that we're using here. Okay. So I'm asking to unmute you, clicking the button. Okay.
I'm on.
All right.
And I apologize if I seem to be hogging the time.
Yeah.
But my question wasn't really being answered. So now I'll mute again.
Okay. Thank you so much. The answer to your question is called market cap. Okay. So let me share my screen. And this isn't rocket science, guys. It's really straightforward. And everybody can look at it.
The banks do it all the time with our money is a great explanation. I mean, you have the details on that. That's just basic. But the banks do it all the time with money. They give us 2% and they're earning 30%.
So right here, you can see it says market cap 75 billion right there, because the current value of the coin is 75,000 at the moment. Okay. So we got, there's another chart I like to look at. So this one right here, refresh that. So you see it says market cap 74 billion. So when you got 1 million coin, okay, that's 70 times $74,000 per coin. Okay, then what that does is it gives us the market cap of 74 billion. So when I say we've got 400 billion, I'm kind of using an average price over where we've been recently, because it kind of averages out. In fact, I'm pretty much expecting the value of our coin to be back over 100,000, maybe 120,000, before the end of today. So it's moving very quickly back up, but there's markets go up and down. That's just the nature of markets. But based on what I know is ahead of me, I know kind of where things are going to go, since I kind of, I know what the actual circulating supply is very, very slim. So I know it's going to move quickly back upward. And that gives us an opportunity to sell it back down and distribute money back to our members. That's kind of the whole point of our system. Okay. So it's market cap. So right now you can take our two coins. We got the PFB and we got the PFI. Okay. So this one's 10 million coins. So there's 10 million of these coins. So there's 10 times as many, but that's for the $1 pool. And the market cap on that is currently at 108 billion, right? So between the two, that's about 200 billion. It's real close to 200 billion. By the end of the day, it'll be over 200 billion, okay, in market cap. And that's what we're looking at. The way I see that number, I see that as money that we can get to the people. I see we get billions of dollars to the people, but that doesn't happen overnight. It's not like we can cash the whole thing in one day. It doesn't work that way. It's a pumping system. The bigger our pool of people gets, the more we're able to pull out daily. And then that adds to the circulation of what the whole system we have here. So does that help clarify it a little bit more for you, Robert?
I'd have to do a little bit more research.
Okay, we welcome that. We welcome you to research it for sure. Okay.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate the question. All right. So Brett, you've got your hand up. Go ahead, Brett. You're next.
Okay, so maybe just to extrapolate a little bit on what he was talking about. When you're talking about the market, are you using like some kind of AI to help you with that, or is that something that you're doing? And where do you expect this to be by Christmas?
Okay, great. Those are good questions. All right, so currently we're not using AI, right now. It's not really necessary for us to use AI in doing the trading for us, but down the road, we'll probably add that in as, the way to go. But right now, there's advantages to just, human, and that's really me, right? So just to be very, very clear, where is the coin sitting? Okay. I'll just be very transparent with you. Okay. Like I said, there's a total of 1 million coins total, 100%, 1 million on the PFB. And let's see here. We go to PFB. In this wallet right here, you can see that there's 999,990 of those coins sitting right there in that one wallet. So the idea is to keep the supply very, very tight, get the highest possible price. So our strategy in many ways is the opposite of almost everybody else's strategy when it comes to the market. Most people are trying to send out their coins, they're doing airdrops, and they're trying to get all kind of people just to hold a little piece of their coin and later on drive the price up, right? And then let the traders then sell off when they want to, right? But when you look at that model, there's only a handful of people that benefit from that model. And that's the people who are good at trading. And the people that are not good at trading, which is over 90% of the people trading, they're not good, right? And they're probably not going to come out ahead, you know. And so even if they got free coin to begin with, yeah, if they never bought any, they'd come out ahead. If they'd sell it for any price, they'd come out ahead, right? But the idea is to encourage them to buy. That's the whole point of an airdrop, is to get people to hold a little bit, experience it a little bit, learn more about it, and then buy. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? And so our strategy is very different in the sense that we want to get the highest possible price now. Early on, we started in January, so it's only been, it's been 8 months, right? It's been 8 months. And so we got the highest possible price, so we know that we don't have traders coming in and competing with us, because the opportunity for them to buy cheap was gone before they even learned about us. Most traders don't even know that we exist, and that's all on purpose, because we're not interested in the traders. We're interested in the system that will take money out of the market and give it to the people without any of those people having to learn how to trade, right? And that's what we've done here. And sometimes people need to hear it more than one time before it kind of clicks, makes sense to them what we're really doing. But just understand the intent of pool funding is to create a situation based on how things work anyway, right? And take advantage of that in a way that it benefits people, not the market. People. We're interested in benefiting the people, and giving people access to our system is where they benefit from that. And you can access our system, for example, in the $10 pool for only $10 a month. That's it. And you can have access to our system for only $10 a month. That's a pretty good deal. Okay, so to participate in the system and be part of the circulation, then there's $10 a day. That's part of the circulation, but the price you pay to be a part of it, is $10 a month. But even that $10 a month comes back to the people. Most of it, like 90% of that $10 comes back to the people. So our system's all about feeding the people, and that's what we do. We're just getting started. And the way I look at it, November of last year till now, we're at a point of we're approaching 4,000 members or 4,000 users right now, and I expect to 10 times that shortly in the next couple of months, and then after that, maybe 10 times it again, a few months after that. So we're right in that J curve of growth right now. We've been doing this long enough that the evidence is really starting to show up. Now, the next part of your question was, what do I expect will happen in December? Okay. And that is, by the end of the year, we expect PFB to be, stable, somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million per coin. Okay. Stable. Like if you have a chunk of it and you sell it, the price doesn't really go up or down that much at all, So that's what price stability means. And that's only because of, the frequency will be much higher at that point of people, positive buying pressure on the coin. We expect to have plenty of frequency by December, okay? PFI, that should be somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000 per coin, and again, stable. So same thing. That's for the 2 starter pools. And by that time, we'll have opened up the $100 pool as well, and it will have its own coin as well. But there's only going to be a total of 100,000 of those coins ever. So there's 1 million coins in the $10, and there'll only be 100,000 coins in the $100 pool. So we expect that coin to be worth multiple millions of dollars, because there's just so few of them, right? And so on. So everything's kind of mathematical, if you want to look at it that way. Supply and demand. And we work the math. We work the math in the favor of the people. That answer your question there, Brett?
Thank you. That was very good. Very clear.
That was a short question, but a long answer. But hope enjoyed the whole thing there. All right, so we got Dean and Dina. Welcome to the call. What's on your mind?
Hey Ace, how you doing, buddy?
Very good.
Hey man, first off, I just want to say thank you, because you brought us into the Hodl Knot program today, and I've been watching the PFB coin, and I didn't really realize what we were doing, but we just bought the dip, and so
Yeah, you did buy the dip.
we just bought the dip, buddy. I've been watching PFB.
You bought one of the best dips ever. I mean that wasn't a small dip.
Yes. Oh, so thank you again, and we're extremely honored to be on your team and working with you and everything going on, and just want to say thanks, Ace.
You're welcome. All right, you got what I love about the two of you is you're a couple and you're working together. So I really want to support that kind of situation as much as possible.
Yeah.
I like it when the couples work together and they
Yeah.
support each other. I really love that.
Hi, Ace. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to hear your voice too, Dina.
Have a good evening.
I
All right.
didn't want you just me.
Well, hey, you can't, if you're going to talk to the two-headed monster, you want to hear from both, right? Now, just to show you guys what I'm talking about, we've got a Hodl Knot, our very first two-headed Hodl Knot, today. And the Hodl Knot program is going to end on Saturday, so it's only here for a few more days, and it'll be done. It'll have served its purpose already. But the Hodl Knot, this Zoom thing gets in my way. This is what I'm talking about here. Our very first two-headed Hodl Knot. There we go. How about that, guys? Round of applause for our two-headed Hodl Knot.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool. Woo! All right.
The one and only. All right. There we go. Thank you, Dina.
Next, we'll have the family Hodl Knot. There'll be 2 children with the parents, or at least 1 child or something.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, anything's possible, right? We grew hair in your case, I remember your Hodl Knot. Your helmet had hair on top of it. Anyway, we like to play to have some fun. Anyway, so does anybody else have a question or a thought or something they'd like to share? Because we don't have to go on for 45 minutes. It's not necessary.
Hey, can I ask a technical question?
Sure, of course you can.
So, pool match meet. I don't understand the points.
Okay. When you say points, what do you mean by that? What's the purpose of the website? Is that what you mean?
No, the points. We got 5 points when we signed up. They've been clicking away as we connect with people. I mean, I'm not sure how the points work. And if this ain't the
you're talking about credits. Okay.
credit. Yes, I'm sorry, credit.
All right. So let me introduce everyone to a third party operation to pool funding, and it's called Pool Match Me. Okay. Now, in order to really benefit from what we have to offer here, we have a pool of people, and we're willing to provide you funding. You don't have to pay back. In return, we're asking you to bring people to add to our pool, at least 2. And in fact, there's not really a positive benefit financially without 2. You have to have at least 2 people you bring into the pool to actually experience positive daily flow. The way our funding works is you don't get paid just one lump sum. It comes in as a daily cash flow. Okay. So in order to benefit from that, you have to have at least 2, what people might call a referral, 2 referrals. A lot of names for that, but the idea is you're bringing in 2 people to come work with you, be part of your team. If you get 4 people, even better. If you've got 4 people in the $1,000 pool, that could be valued at $3,000 a day, which would be $90,000 a month in positive cash flow. That's $1 million a year in funding you don't have to pay back. That'd be pretty good. So Pool Match Me is an opportunity for people that struggle to get people, right? They like, oh, if I have to go recruit somebody, I don't know if I can do this, right? Well, you could go to Pool Match Me, pay them $100, and you can get 2 signups for $100. Okay, so these aren't leads, they're signups, but it's kind of set up like a dating service. You know, we got boys and girls, but in the case of Pool Match Me, you got referrals and you got sponsors. Okay, let me show the website what I'm talking about here. All right, here it is, Pool Match Me. So I've used Pool Match Me. Okay, so this is the website here, and it's where sponsors and referrals meet for pool funding. So everybody's interested in pool funding if they're on this website. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and go to my area here. Okay, log in. So basically, you start out with these referrals here. These are people here that want to join. Okay, so you spend $100 and you're going to get 2 of them. Okay, but they're going to join the $1 pool. Okay, now these people here, these are referrals. Now, my status on the website, I came in as a sponsor. I am a sponsor looking for a referral. Okay, and these guys here, they're referrals looking for a sponsor. Okay, so kind of like boys and girls, right? Very similar. And the idea is that you have a chance to go meet each other, learn about each other. Like you click interested on someone. Okay, you can go to their profile. You can learn more about them by looking at the profile. Okay, not much here to look at, so I'll just click that. Go not interested. Go to the next one here. It says proficient in English. Okay, I'm interested. Okay, we can look at the profile here. Okay. I am simple. I have bright eyes, black hair, not too shiny. I love adventure and willing to learn. Open-minded, honest, and hardworking. Okay. Yeah, maybe they took the dating part a little too serious there, but you just kind of go through and find out what each person is they're interested in. I did this already, and I ended up with 2 matches already. Okay, so my 2 matches are DJ. Okay, so I matched up with him, and also matched up with Sheila. Okay, so these guys, I interviewed them. They liked me, I liked them. We decided to match up. And so I got my $100 worth, no problem, right? The credits here, I've got, it says I've got 3 left. Technically, I used up 5 credits and it gave me 5 more, okay? So every time you go from this level of interested to when you both decide to connect, like, let me see here. If I click connect and then she clicks connect, then we both are using a credit by connecting. Because right now, if I want to get her contact information, it says available only if you are connected to each other, right? So we use credits to get access to contact information. Okay, that's the short answer to your question. But I just want to kind of give you guys, this website, I think is going to be a year from now, it's going to be the main thing I think is going to bring people into pool funding is going to be this website, because I can see millions of people coming and flowing through here. And for all the people that struggle to get, 2, 3, 4 people to be on their team, they can just, for $100, get 2 signups. I think a lot of people are going to do that. And you use the credits to, if it wasn't for the credit system, one person could go in there and copy all the contact information of everybody, right? And they could, they could use it for other purposes. And to prevent that, it's a credit system. Does that make sense? That was Dina. That was Dean, right? Asking that question, right?
Yeah, yes, it was. And hey, man, we've made some good connections in there too.
Yeah.
Using Telegram to connect with some of these guys. We haven't actually matched yet, but we've made some good connections, having some good conversation. And hey, that's what it's all about. I just wasn't sure, what happens when the credits run out. Does that mean we're done? I should have picked somebody, or I didn't know exactly how that worked. So
yeah, I think that one of the most important questions to ask when you're interviewing them is this question: do you know anyone that has at least $30 that they could pay for themselves to join? Do you know anybody like that? That they could pay their own way in? You know what I'm saying? And if they struggle to answer that question, or if they hesitate, or if you get the feeling like that seems like a challenge for them, then that's not a quality match, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What you're interested in is you know, the $100, you know, 60 of it is used to pay their way in and give them an operating budget so they can come into the $1 pool, right? And then they can make their daily payment every day for a while, right? So that's the purpose of 60 of the $100, right? 30 for one, 30 for the other. You get 2 of those signups for the $1 pool. And then from there, they can raise the money to enter into the $10 pool. And in the $10 pool, you raise the money to enter into the $100 pool. And that's the idea, right? So a person could come in for free into pool funding because they joined through Pool Match Me, and a sponsor covered that cost for them, and end up a year later getting $1 million of funding every year because they followed the system, and they got 4 people all the way up into the $1,000 pool with them. And that's how you become a millionaire, right? And literally someone could join us and not any money out of their own pocket because of that sister website, Pool Match Me. No money out of their own pocket, and end up becoming a millionaire. How about that? That's amazing, right?
That is awesome.
Yeah. So you understand the credit system now? You call it
I do.
points.
I do. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. And so you don't have to repurchase credits. They're just reissued once you've gone through.
Once you use 5, then there's a button. Would you like 5 more? You click on it. That button appears after you use the 5.
Oh, okay. I've been afraid to use all that.
Yeah,
Okay,
you should be, because when you know that button doesn't show up every time, it just shows up.
Yep.
You know, you get 10 without any hassle. If you
Okay.
want more than 10, you're gonna have to do a reach out and say, hey,
Right, yeah.
I need more credits. You know.
I got you. Thank you, sir.
All right, there you go. We appreciate that sister website, towerpoolfunding.io. So that's Pool Match Me, and we're poolfunding.io. All right, David, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, it was great that you had mentioned people migrating, or whatever the terminology is, going from the $1 pool up into the $10
Yeah,
pool.
raise
And it was so
the
cool.
money, right? Yeah, raise the money. Yeah.
Your first match from Pool Match Me was DJ, and he has just done that recently, which is awesome that that system works with this system. The Pool Match Me works with the pool funding, and people being able to go from the free site or the $1 site to the $10 site, because certainly $10 is where people want to be. But if they can't start at the 10, at least they can start at the 1.
That's true.
My question is, I thought I remembered hearing you say something along the lines, but I know I've heard it in the past, where the interest that banks pay us on our money that's in there, whether it's a credit card or our checking account balance or savings and all, they give us whatever percent they give us, but they're out there putting their money in the marketplace, which is benefiting them. They're not benefiting the people, which is us. Like, you're benefiting us, the people. And that's how that system works. But you had a much more eloquent way of explaining it, to where they're giving us 2% while they're earning 30 or more percent, depending on what the market's bearing that minute or that day. Sometimes it's 20%, sometimes it's 50%, anywhere in between. It might only be 18%, but they're making a ton of money and giving us piddlings on our money. And now this is benefiting us as opposed to benefiting the system, so to speak. They're the system in this case.
Well, let's talk economics for a moment. Is that okay with you? Let's say you have a savings account and you got a very generous bank, and the bank's giving you 2% a year, okay, on your savings account. That's super generous today, right? It's very hard to find a bank that'll give you that much. Am I right? For a savings account, okay? So if all you're doing is putting money in the savings account, which means at any time you can come in, because it's not locked in any kind of contract. It's not like there's no contractual period in a savings account. You put money in today and take the money out tomorrow because there's no contract. But whatever time is, you get the 2% annual, that they'll pay you on that. Well, let's say you leave $1,000 in a bank that pays you 2%. So that's $20 after a year. Am I right? Is my math good? It's 2% of $1,000, $20. That sound right? David? We're dialoguing.
Oh, I don't have a calculator in front of me, but that sounds accurate enough. I would hope that you would know, being the multimillionaire earner or $1 million twice or
Well,
so, or
10%, for me, my mind does 10% very easily. I could do I can do a 10% on 1,000 would be $100. That's easy for me to do, just whack a zero off. But when you're doing 2%, I just think in terms like 10% times 2 would be $200 and whack a zero off that to get 1%. And then that would be $20. But anyway, that's how my mind does the math. Everybody does it differently, I guess. But anyway, so $20, okay, but let's say that the inflation of that same year was, let's just use a round number, 10% inflation. And people like, wow, that's super high. Inflation's not that high. Really? What was a bottle of milk a year ago? What is a bottle of milk today? What's a gallon of gasoline a year ago? What's a bottle of gas? I mean, a gallon of gas right now. Pick the things that you're spending your money on and compare 1 year ago to right now. And I'm telling you, you're looking at inflation that's, I think I'm being conservative by saying you're only experiencing 10% a year inflation right now. I think I'm being conservative.
10% is conservative. It's at least 30, and the housing market since 2018 was like 50%. So your $100,000 house then is now 400,000 just a few years later. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we're in crazy inflationary times. So is there an incentive to save money if you're going to get like a 2%? So economically, if you save $1,000, and then the purchasing power of that $1,000 turns into $900, but they gave you a gain of $20, you're still at a loss of $80, right? You've lost $80 of purchasing power. You see, most people don't think about any of this stuff. And see, whenever you have a system that's based on debt, which is basically our current global financial system, is all based on putting everybody into debt, right? At some point, it caves in on itself. Does that make sense? Why it would do that? Why something that's based on debt would cave in, right? So I think we're looking at that now. I think we're looking at, it's a very slow motion train wreck, but they've been keeping it going. I thought the thing was going to end in the 1980s, and it's still going. So it's been a very slow motion train wreck. And so no one can really predict exactly when it completely falls apart, or if it will completely fall apart, because there's so many things that can be done, including what we're doing. We see where the money is at. There's not trillions, there's more than quadrillions in the market. Okay. So you got millions and billions and trillions, quadrillion, right? There's more than that in the market. And pool funding, we figured out a way to get a hole. We punched a hole in the market to pull money out of it, right? And the bigger our pool of people is, the bigger that hole will become that we pull money out, right? So by supporting what we're doing, you don't have to be a trader. You just be a part of a system. And the system works, and it's been working very well since November of last year. We're pulling money out. It's all documented. We're very transparent where things come and go. And that's how our operation is. So we hope that those of you are looking at us for the first time that are new, you're looking at to join us, we'd love to have you come be a part of what we're doing and help us make that hole in the market even bigger, so we pull more money out, because we're interested in building equity. We believe that economics should be more about building equity and less about managing debt. Okay.
Amen to that.
And it should empower the individual in mass, right? Not institutions. When all the power goes to the institutions and the people suffer, that's not a good system. We want the people to prosper, right? So that's what we're doing in pool funding. Is we found a way to get, there's so much money up there. I mean, they say the global economy runs on about 20 or $22 trillion a year. That might sound like a lot of money, guys. But when you divide it by 8.5 billion living and breathing human beings, it's not that big after all. Okay, take 22 trillion and divide it by 8.5 billion. You know, you'll see that it's not actually that big of a number after all. And, you know, that number should be more like, you know, 500 trillion a year, you know, if we do it right. And there's quadrillions above it in the market that's just sitting up there behind computer screens, benefiting a handful of people, you know. In fact, the people, the richest 1%, you could fit them in one airplane. Okay. So you take all you take the most wealthy of the wealthy and put them in one airplane. You know, they have so much money, most people would gasp, but where's the money? It's in the market. It's in the market. So we're not talking about redistribution of wealth as much as just, you know, finding a way for people to get access to money that is other than learning how to trade. And that's what pool funding has done. We found a way to do it. And so we just want to spread it, make it bigger, and it works. The more you support what we're doing, it'll make sense why our coins are so valuable, right? So that's where Robert started out like, that's a lot of money. But yeah, it is, because we're not doing it the same way everybody else does it. We're doing things in a way that we're maximizing how much we can bring down to the people. Okay, great questions. We got a hand raised by Paul. Go ahead, Paul. I like your background there. Your superheroes.
Yeah, hi.
Looks like you're Iron Man.
Yeah. Apologies if I got on the call late, so apologies if this has been asked or this topic's been discussed. But
yeah, no problem.
I'm just wondering, is there any benefit in being in the $10 pool if none of your referrals are in the $10 pool? So if you're starting in the $1 pool, you know, how do you make that transition? Do you have to do that along with your referrals to get the benefit, or what?
Yeah, I the question I ask people is this, Paul, is how much do you want to be paid? Do you want to be paid in $10 bills or do you want to be paid in $1 bills, right? Because the activity is the same, right? The effort, you know, so perhaps you've started in the $1 pool and that's fine. You can build a team around that, but as you're building that team, you're bringing them in at the $1 level with you, right? But imagine if you had a do-over and you started in the $10 pool and you brought your people into the $10 pool with you, right? Right. Then you know, then the way you're being you know, paid is in $10 bills instead of $1 bills, right? So, and most people in the West, I call them Westerners, when people that would be Canada, the United States, European countries, Australia, Japan, you know, these are the Western countries. You know, most of them, those people are going to come in at the $10 level. If they weigh things out properly, they'll see that their time is more valuable, right? And with the things coming online now, getting two people shouldn't take longer than, I mean, some people get it done on the same day that they join. Other people might take 2 or 3 weeks, but in either case, it's still a relatively short period of time compared to the long-term benefit of receiving positive cash flow that will continue to grow and escalate you from one pool to the next. But in your current situation, if you want to just build your team quickly in the $1 pool, once they've done the same thing, then they can migrate with you to the $10 pool, right? And some of them might migrate just by asking the right question. They might have joined you on the $1 pool, and then you get 2 or 3 of them say, hey, you know, do you want to get paid in $10 bills or $1 bills? And they say, I'd rather get paid in $10 bills. Well, why don't you come up with me now into the $10 pool, right? That takes care of you, right? And they put some urgency on them to hurry and get a couple of people right away, right? So with the $1 thing, you might not have that urgency because it's too easy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Got it. Appreciate
Well,
it, sir.
a lot of food for thought there.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, we've been going for about an hour now, so I don't really see hands up. Let me just check the chat real quick. Not too chatty there either. Okay. Yep. All right. So looks like we're pretty good. Is there anybody else? You can go ahead and unmute if you have a comment or question or contribution you'd like to make to the meeting before we stop the recording. So I'm going to say,
Hello.
there we go, Scott. Scott, hello, Scott. This is Scott
Hello.
of Thailand. Is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
Thailand.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome, Scott.
Okay. So basically, following on from what Paul just said, one of the other questions is if you're in the $1 pool and you have a referral that wants to go into the $10 pool, what happens if he goes into the $10 pool and you're still in the $1 pool?
Well, it only takes $10 to enter into the $10 pool, doesn't it? So you can get your own link for only $10. So you'd want to be ahead of that. It's only going to cost you $10 to be ahead of that. That makes sense. So even if you don't pay every day, you can get the $10 link. What's that?
So you do basically need to move into that to benefit from the person that's going to go that.
If it's your referral, you don't want them going to, somebody else is saying, well, my sponsor is not ready to go to the $10 pool. I need someone to sponsor me. I want to go in the $10 pool, which they're free to do, by the way, because each person is individual, right? They have their rights, right? No one should stop them from progressing, right? And including their sponsor. But to me, why would a sponsor get in the way for $10? Even if the making a commitment of every day paying $10 is not what you're ready to do, you could at least just pay one time. That gets you the link. You give them your link, and when you're ready to pay every day, at least you have somebody in there who's supporting that, right? And maybe you can it'll work out. You need two to have positive cash flow to qualify.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So that's just we're kind of getting into strategy right now, right? So that goes into strategy. All right. It says David, but I know he likes to be called David. Okay, so we call him David. Go ahead, David.
Thank you. Yeah, so these two questions that just came up with the other parties, they were talking about going from the $1 to the $10. So someone is starting in the $1 pool, but they haven't really gotten their referrals as far as breaking even or earning beyond what it was that they. So it's not 10 for 10, it's or 20 for 10 or whatever, or 2 for 1, but they could go ahead and choose to also participate in the $10 pool, as you kind of explained, to just do the $10, and they may or may not continue to do $10 a day. But if they've got one person on their team that wants to go there, they go there. But they could also, I guess, like someone who starts off in the $10 pool, pay the $200 or $300 for the operating expense or what have you to get started, and they'll also still be going on in the $1 pool.
Yeah, operating budgets also kind of fall into the category of strategy, right? So there's all kinds of different strategies on how to participate within pool funding, and we don't dictate any one or another. We highlight the pros and cons of each, strategy. And so it just kind of depends on each individual what they're working with, what they've got to work with, right? Because we want to help as many people as possible. We are interested in helping people. That's why we've got the $1 pool, right? Had we never opened up the $1 pool, we'd only be basically able to help people in about maybe 10 different countries, but there's 200 countries in the world, but there's a lot of people that are in these other countries that it's $10 a day is just not something they can commit to until they get their couple of people, and even finding a couple of people in certain countries. So there are places like the Philippines, for example, where I happen to reside. It's very difficult to build teams around the $10 pool. That's why we opened up the $1 pool, and now they're coming in, much faster now because of the $1 pool. That's something that's within reach for them, and I think that's going to be true in South America, Africa, other places around the world where economics are way different than in Western countries. Most people in the West are excited about the $100 pool. So again, the same strategies can apply. So you don't necessarily have to have a budget of $300 to participate in the $10 pool, because you may not need 3 accounts. If you're going from the $1 pool to the $10 pool, You may just want to do one account. Again, it's a strategy. Now, what do I mean? We're getting into the point of where you can have sub accounts. Okay, so you can get self qualified. So we're going really much deeper than I normally go in an opportunity call, but that's okay. You know, it creates more questions and people come back and, you know, want to get more clarity on certain things. It's all good. You can go to our YouTube channel. Pretty much everything I've said here has been clarified many times over. And there's like 200 videos you can go through and look at, you know, what's there content wise, plenty to look at. We're very transparent. So we're not stuck on any kind of like, you have to do this or have to do that, David. All we have is like opportunity to do this and opportunity to do that. We could do it this way or we could do it that way. And it's always good to ask someone like myself or a leader that's been around for a while, get good advice from people that have been doing this for a while and they understand the different strategies. Does that make sense on any given situation?
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, if there was a person that definitely had the means to participate in the $10 pool, but they were skeptical, so they wanted to risk little, so they started with the $1 pool. Then they realized, okay, I got one, that's great, I'm excited, it does work for me, I see it works for others, it works for me. Now I also want to do the $10 pool, so whether it's $100 or the $300 to have sub accounts or whatever, they can participate in both.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, depending on
cool.
how their referral base is going, they could either come in with or without sub accounts in that example that you just gave. So if someone that has a couple of referrals ready to go, then why do sub accounts? Like just convince them to, hey, we get paid better. It's like a leadership thing. It's like step up and be a leader to those referrals and say, do you want to get paid in $1 bills or $10 bills? Because I'm ready to get paid in $10 bills. You want to come with me? And it's like lead them up there, even if they don't have any referrals, right? Because if we're always waiting for the next layer to have their referrals, those people have to have their referrals and those people have to have their referrals, it'll be an endless waiting game, right? So leadership is where you got to go. Someone's got to lead the way, step it up.
Follow the leader.
Yeah. And so, and the idea is it shouldn't take more than a couple of days to, for people in the West to bring people in the West into the $10 pool. It's not that hard. And most people, they come in fresh into the $10 pool. They're going to start with a $300 operating budget. And then that usually gets them enough where it's good enough that they don't ever have to add anything to it, So the idea is to have enough money in your wallet that you use it as needed over the days or weeks, right? And the idea is that once you have 2 referrals, you got more money coming into that wallet daily than money going out, right? As soon as you have 2, that's what happens. More money comes in than going out. And it usually shouldn't take more than a few days, or if it takes people a couple of weeks to do it, it's fine. But if it takes more than that, then they need to add more money to that operating budget out of their own pocket, right? To keep going. Because it takes, so there's everything's about timing. Probably the hardest part about people in the West is how busy they are. It's, nailing a person down, saying, they're going to join you, but it's just getting them to have understand how this works for them to, say, okay, I want to be a part of that too. And yeah, let's go make millions, 4 people to be a millionaire. I don't know any other way you could do that. 4 people, it only takes 4 in pool funding and you scale up from one pool to the next until you take those 4 with you through some leadership, into the $1,000 pool. But yeah. So
And whether it's people like in America or people in the Philippines and Africa, which are 2 very different economies and financial scales of sorts, it's great that there's still different opportunities. Like Pool Match Me is a type of lead system, but there's other lead systems that you can purchase, like you alluded to earlier in this.
We're starting a new one. Yeah, we're starting a new one. I think it might start as early as tomorrow, right? So it's actually leads. So you're purchasing leader worked leads, and they're kind of a done for you lead generation system for the $10 pool. That's going to start as early as tomorrow. So everything's lined up on one side. It's got to check with a handful of people and see if they're ready. But I think that'll begin tomorrow. And yeah, so we know people aren't going to be struggling to get 2 people because we're going to provide them so many options of how to get 2 people. Everybody should be able to do it, no problem. And it's not like you're stuck in only getting 2 people. 2 people is just the bare minimum to see positive cash flow on a daily basis.
Buy your way or relationship your way. One way you're gonna make it or another.
Exactly. Most people, believe it or not, should have no problem talking to the people that they care about. You know, the people already have small groups of people that they're with anyway, and everybody, the need for funding is universal. So, you know, friends as they associate with each other, you know, everybody has a need for funding, and more importantly, I think people have a need for daily funding. I think that need is one of the greatest needs we have of all time, more than ever before. Today in 2024, people have a need for money coming in every day. Waiting for 2 weeks is an eternity for so many people. Too many people are struggling the last 4 or 5 days until that next paycheck just shows up, and it's a horrible way to live your life. Constantly getting to the, with the inflation and all that that's happening, it's making it really tough for people that have to wait. So getting paid every single day, pool funding providing that system to do that, that's a huge benefit that's not hard to sell. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've done great today. Thank you all for your contributions. We appreciate everyone that had questions and comments and made their contribution today. We went all over the place today. So today's opportunity meeting and Q&A session was we touched on a lot of things. And some of you that are new, maybe this is your very first exposure to pool funding, you might have been hit by a fire hose today. It's okay. We can refine it for you. I'd like to redirect you back to the page that I showed you originally, and that's this one here. So let's go back to the starting point, and that would be, I'd like to invite everybody to come to this page here. So the page is poolfunding.io remote agent. Okay. There's 11 minutes of video. Okay. On here. Okay. And some explanation to go with it. Come back here and review this. This is a very clean presentation of what we're doing. I'll put this again in the chat here. And then whoever invited you, I'm sure they invited you because they'd like to be your sponsor. And we have so many people here that I'm so proud of who they are and the kind of sponsors that they have become. And so if you're lucky enough to be invited by one of those people that I'm talking about here, yeah, good on you. So we have really built a nice community of people that one of the things that people say about pool funding that makes us kind of stand out above maybe other generally opportunities out there is that our support system is so strong, right? We are here for each other. We support each other day and night. There's always somebody handy, and there's always someone real willing to help. And people don't have lingering questions. They usually get their questions answered quickly. You have more than one place to go to get questions answered. And, we're very transparent. And so between our transparency and the support structure that has developed, because the people, I give credit to the people that are here for them stepping up. I gave direction. Let's do it like this. They followed the direction, and it's been working out beautifully. So you'll find that we're a warm, friendly, and supportive community, and we're very serious about what we're doing, and the fact that we believe that we're going to be providing so many people millions of dollars of funding annually. So many people, you'll look back on today, a year from now, go, wow, he predicted it. But it's not really a prediction when you're making it happen, is it? When you make something happen, it's not really a prediction. So trust me, when you look back a year from now, when you look back, you'll go, wow, it did come true. Everything that I was saying. Just like when I told people back when the price was less than $1,000, I said, look, this coin's going to be worth $100,000 before October. Well, the coin became worth more than $100,000 in June. Okay. All right. And I was telling people that in February. So anyway, so we know it's going to happen because we're making it happen, and we believe in what we're doing, and we know it's righteous and good, and we're not hurting anyone. And there's a lot of benefit here. And I like what Gregory's writing here. So he says, tell them about insight and updates. Yes, our next insight and update training happens on Thursday. So that's 2 days from now at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do that 3 nights a week. So on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, we have training. And that's for people that have already joined and are signed up. And right now our training is focused on this new lead generation system that we put together, and supporting that, because so that people have options other than talking to people like their friends and family, so. And also David wants me to mention that this is all, for us to build something called a luxury economy. I want you guys to join me on a vision where the world changes, where there is no such thing as poverty, that every man, woman, and child on the planet live within a luxury economy and have living, dignified lives in comfort. That's how it should be for the species. We are human beings after all. We have the ability to look after one another. And with the technology like robots and AI taking over all the jobs, that's fine. But let's not make how we look at money the same way. We've always looked at money as something you got to work for. The rich people don't look at money that way, guys. You ask a rich person how they look at money, they don't see money as something you work for. They see money as something that works for them, right? And see, it's a different way of thinking. And when everybody kind of changes their mind and starts to see money in a different respect, then the idea of pulling money out of the market to get to the people makes a lot more sense, right? When you just look at it from a different point of view. And that's really what the luxury economy is all about. It's like a change on perspective. If we can just change our perspective, we can create an economy that's built on the idea of luxury for all, not just for some. Okay. All right. That's it, guys. We're going to go ahead and end the recording now. We can all unmute and say bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you, Ace.
Thank you very much.
Ace.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
See you later.